Imagine waiting months, even years, to hug someone you love again. Join us as these soldiers are finally home, and their families' reactions will melt your heart. Bailey's homecoming was pure joy, and the moment he hugged his wife after deployment, it was nothing short of heartwarming. After 4 months away, Ellie's brother flew home to surprise his niece and nephew, and their excited hugs made for the sweetest reunion. After 2 long months apart, Ricky's love of his life finally returned from the Navy, and the second she saw him, she ran straight into his arms, holding him tightly. Daviana had been gone for 7 months, telling her family she wouldn't be home for Christmas, but in a surprise they never expected, she showed up, bringing overwhelming emotion and joy. This soldier told his father his leave wasn't approved, but after 6 months away, he walked through the door unannounced, bringing his dad to tears with an unforgettable reunion. Danny's husband, fresh from deployment, surprised his sister on her graduation day, and their emotional hug made it a moment they would never forget. On Christmas Eve, Christy's son walked through the door after 6 months away with the USMC, and his little sister's reaction was pure joy as she ran straight into his arms, giving him the most emotional hug. After months of intense military training, William's son surprised him at breakfast, and it became one of the most unforgettable moments of his life. After 8 months apart, Diana and her husband decided to surprise her in-laws, and the joy on their faces when they saw their grandchildren again was absolutely priceless. Jay's husband was finally home from deployment, and the moment she saw him, she ran toward him with excitement, wrapping him in a long-awaited embrace. After 9 months apart, Christina's husband was finally back, and the second they reunited, she couldn't hold back her emotions. Kelsey and her husband kept his homecoming a secret, and when he walked through the door on Christmas Eve after a year-long deployment, their kids were completely overjoyed. Alyssa had just endured the hardest year of her life, 13 months apart from her husband, but when their kids finally saw him again, their happiness made every second worth it. Alexis's husband had been away for months, and when he finally came home, she surprised her grandparents, and their emotional hugs said it all. Saying goodbye was tough for Amanda and her husband before his deployment, and it was the hardest see you later they had ever experienced. Shelby and her kids had been counting down the days, and when her husband finally stepped off that plane after 9 long months, they ran straight into his arms. Justin had been away on deployment, but the moment he surprised his little one at school, the joy in his child's eyes said everything. It was an overwhelming moment when Spaja finally reunited with her family after months of deployment, and the hugs, the tears, and the joy made it a moment to remember. Bill had spent months deployed in Japan, but when he walked through the door, his little boy's stunned expression quickly turned into the biggest, brightest smile. Sophia had told her family she wouldn't be home for the holidays, but 4 months later, she walked through the door, leaving them absolutely speechless. Katie's best friend was completely overwhelmed with emotion when her partner, fresh from a long deployment, walked in to surprise her. Bryn and her husband wanted to make this holiday one to remember, and when he walked in unexpectedly from the military, their family's reactions were absolutely priceless. Jeremy had no idea his son would be coming home early, and the moment he saw him, pride and joy filled his face. Bailey's son had been waiting for this moment, and when his dad finally returned from deployment, he ran straight into his arms, beaming with excitement. Tiffany planned the perfect surprise for her father, bringing her brother home from deployment without telling him, and when he saw him, his reaction was pure happiness. One of the most touching moments was when Marcy surprised her mom with an unexpected homecoming, and the emotions were simply overwhelming. Frizz showed up at home unannounced after deployment, completely shocking his parents, and their reactions were absolutely priceless.
I said Jim was going to think it was her puppy.
At church, Brooke's brother made a surprise return from the army, and the second their grandparents saw him, their faces lit up with joy.
I want to invite our special guest, Luke, all the way from Korea to surprise his grandparents.
After 2 long years, these two brothers finally came home from the Marines, and their mom's reaction was pure, overwhelming love. Brittany's brother had been gone for 9 months, but when he walked in unexpectedly, their parents' happiness was undeniable. After being stationed in Italy for 3 long years, Shane was finally coming home, but his sister Elizabeth had no idea what was about to happen, and the moment they reunited was nothing short of heartwarming.
Oh, there goes her glass.
What? What? Tell us now. Videos is Friday.
You videos is Friday?
Yeah. I was gonna pick up from school, but I have things that I need to check.
If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one as well.